Liu Chunhua's poster from the Chairman Mao en route to Anyuan, or uh, or Chairman Mao goes to Anyuan. Painted. It was first a painting. It was painted in 1967, oil on canvas. It was painted at the very beginning of the Cultural Revolution, which started in 1966, although it lasted for 10 years to 1976. The death marked the ended by the death of Chairman Mao Zedong. The Cultural Revolution was a movement that's aimed to agitate people to overturn the classes, to abandon the old and renew almost everything in their life, including what matters the most to them, the classes. So students would overturn the teachers, and workers would overturn their supervisors, so on and so forth. So it proved to be a mistake. The 10 years proved to be a mistake in China, and a lot of victims, and brought huge terror as well as chaos to the country, which was just established in 1949 in the mainland China. And it's not just a mistake; it's proven to be a disaster, right? So this is, but it started with this socialist zeal, right? In the background, it's this socialist zeal that agitated the people. Okay, back to this painting. It's first a painting, but Mao Zedong's, Chairman Mao's wife, Jiang Qing, who at the time started to ascend to the power herself, really liked it. Liked this painting and asked for it to be printed into, or adopted it into poster and be printed many copies. And it turned out to be the most reproduced painting in the history of art. 900 million copies were printed. So what we see here is the print, it's the poster, it's a propaganda poster of it. Now, back to the painting itself, back to the visual, back to the painting itself first. We want to talk about the context, give you a little bit of the context, because the title suggests Chairman Mao goes to Anyuan. So why does he go to Anyuan? That's the first thing before we get into the visual. Well, it's painted at the very beginning of the Cultural Revolution, and it shows one event. And it shows the figure in the midst of events. What event is that? It's a strike. It's a worker strike. It's a miner strike. This 29-year-old Mao Zedong, right, youthful, striding, right, not just walking, but striding really confidently, en route to Anyuan in 1922, where at the time the miners' strike in Jiangxi province. Jiangxi province at the time was really important province because produces it's an important site for coal mining, the energy, coal mining, and all these workers, right? Now they are on a strike in Jiangxi province, where they would, and then Mao Zedong en route there as a youthful leader organized the miners in their fight to free themselves from their essentially feudal and impoverished lives. 1922, this is before the People's Republic of China was established. It was just at the very dawn when the Chinese Communist Party it was established. It was at the time it was a nationalist a government that's controlling mainland China. But Chairman Mao, right, was emphatically emphasized in this event as a leader of some kind of democratic, that free people. And visually so, right, which we're gonna analyze that later. So then the story goes, right, this painting finished, and then Jiang Qing, the wife of Mao Zedong, really loved this painting so much that she encouraged its production throughout China, right? Also, it becomes an icon throughout China of the Mao's image, a towering image during the Cultural Revolution. Okay, on to the visual elements of it. How do they put together this propaganda? Well, start with the most obvious, the theatrical touches, right? You see the very determined, steady, piercing, penetrating, right? All these words serves the same meaning. Onto the future, to the front, forward, looking forward. So the gaze is really determined of Mao Zedong, right? As a compliment, right? This depiction of it is as a compliment to showing the leader, this figure, as a leader. And then lightning, the really clear sky right here, and we have some kind of lightning to add to the power of this poster. The visual dynamics, the visual potency of this poster, right? What other elements would you add to that if it were supposed to be a poster? It were meant to be a poster that eulogizes, that compliments this great leader, Mao Zedong, at the time. It was as it was used. It's a purpose that it served, right? How about the figure being in the front and center in the middle, so that you know it's the protagonist, right? It's being emphasized in the foreground, right? You know, for paintings, for visual paintings, usually sometimes we have foreground, middle ground, and background. And Mao Zedong, in this case, the figure in this case is placed, no mistaken, right, to the front and center. And this front and center, it's front and center to a point that it dwarfs the mountain ranges, dwarfs the clouds, right? And to speak in terms of the height and in terms of the volume of it. The mountains, they seem so small, then they're so short because it's all at towards the bottom. Mao Zedong's figure is at the very top of the mountain peaks in the clouds. That's the second visual element, right? That's being incorporated into transcribing that ideal that was intended, the artist intends to create. Oh, also we have a gesture, right? The fist clenched, clasped. Does that remind us of something? The visage, the forward-looking visage, the clenched fists. Does that remind us of the Ren Xiong's, the Shanghai school painters, Ren Xiong's self-portrait of himself looking forward, very determined with the both hands doing like this, clenching like this. Speaking of creating the visual appearance of a figure, right, that determined how it was created. And even the rope drifts backwards to show the wind, to show his speed moving forward. Right? So everything serves only that figure, the leader himself. So to put all these visuals back into the context, this is during the Cultural Revolution, whereas Mao Zedong, the Chairman Mao, being honored, being elevated as a godlike personality cult, that all the people, right, under Chairman Mao's leadership all march towards freedom, towards democracy, right? So for the propaganda to serve its purpose, so this uses, right, this poster, this painting uses the socialist realism that we've talked about, the textbooks talked about, to portray Chairman Mao as a revolutionary leader. And it's youthful because when this one was painted, Chairman Mao was actually really old, right? This like in his 60s or 70s. But this poster is reconstructing that youthful Chairman Mao. So to portray them as a revolutionary leader committed to committed to championing the common people, the workers, the peasants, the proletariat, because this is what the Cultural Revolution is about. To free, for the proletariat to take control of the power again. So it's meant to be a personality cult, it's a personal cult, meant to be a communist ideal, a symbol of communist ideal, a communist propaganda. Everything serves the determination on his face, Chairman Mao's face. And here the word just says, it's the title, it just says the title of the Chairman Mao en route to Anyuan. It explains that he's there to lead the workers' strike.